Hello ladies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Nicole and I've been taking you all along my level up journey, and more specifically these last few months we've been talking all about old money and how we can adopt old money values and old money habits, because old money is not something that you can become. If you're not old money, you're not going to ever be old money, but we can look and research and watch and observe these old money families and adopt some of their habits and their values into our lives and make our lives a little bit better. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, I'd be so honored if you subscribed. Actually, first before you do that, like this video. Please stop and go like it and let me know that this is the type of content that you're enjoying, because sometimes I can't gauge whether this is what you want to talk about on your level up journey or if you would like to move on to something else. So with that, you know where we're going with this by the title of the video. Let's talk a little bit more about the resiliency and the school of hard knocks that old money tends to put themselves through. Have you ever done something tough and in the moment it was so tough you're like, why am I putting myself through this? And then after you finish that task, that trip, that whatever it is, you look back on it and you're like, wow, that was really tough, but I've learned so much from it. I am so much of a better person because of it. This is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, we can see examples of this when it comes to old money families. One of the easiest, first top of the mind examples that comes to head is when Prince Harry was doing his service. But then on a everyday basis, you can see people that are registering for triathlons, marathons, anything with a thon on the end. You can observe this in people and you're like, why are you doing this? You don't need to. And it's quite grueling to put yourself through the task of completing this. Perhaps you've even noticed somebody putting their efforts out there with YouTube, and maybe they're not doing so well with it in the beginning, but they stick with it. They persevere. They figure out what it is that is going to work for them, and they end up growing their community. This is such an amazing skill and tenacity to have. You may want to hike the Appalachian Trail, run a marathon, climb a mountain, or bicycle across your state. The options are wide open. The only limits are what you can do physically and how much time you can take to do them. Investing in yourself is key. If you're wanting to act like an old money woman, you will put yourself through an extremely challenging endeavor, or an ECE. The ECE is going to do the following: develop a results-oriented, not appearance-oriented mindset, enable you to put the opinions of others in their proper place, as others are not going to be with you when you take on this challenge, endure hardships and discover new strengths and weaknesses about yourself, exhaust you physically and challenge you mentally, expand what you think you're capable of, and establish a foundation of personal confidence and resourcefulness which you can draw upon going forward in all aspects of your life. So what can you challenge yourself with in your day-to-day? It doesn't always have to be enlisting. It doesn't necessarily have to be going to do a triathlon, but there are things and areas where we know that we could sharpen, and there's areas that we know that we fall short in. And so wouldn't it really serve us if we made a commitment, made a decision, and stuck to it? Perhaps you're like me, and this challenge would be working out daily. I will have a great stint where I work out for 2 weeks, and every day I'm getting moving. And then I'll go in, see a client, and my routine is disrupted, and then I don't want to work out when I get in, when really I should have got up early to make sure that I got that workout in. And then I feel so defeated that then I don't work out for the next 2 months. So is there something that you can do in your day-to-day? I think only you will know this, that you know it would benefit your life, and you know that you would learn such a skill by sticking with it, even though it is maybe something easy for someone else. Maybe for you, that is going offline. Could you imagine? Believe it or not, I actually spend a lot of my life offline. I think because this is a job for me, my phone is almost always on silent. I respond to you all only once a week just because I want to make sure that I have that work-life balance. And I know that's not necessarily what people preach in the online space, but that's something that I value a lot. Maybe for you, this means that you are going to make the commitment to reading daily. Again, only you can set this goal or this challenge for yourself. Now, in this book, they definitely went into some of the criteria that we should have when setting up a challenge like this for ourselves. So number one, it should demand all of your attention. This is something that you are investing everything into. Number two, that this should be results oriented. So perhaps you want to really make a go at a YouTube channel. When are you going to call it a day? If you even call it a day. Do you want to gauge this by the results of hitting a certain subscriber count? Do you want to gauge these results by hitting a certain view count? How will you make this goal oriented? Is it a weight loss goal? Is it you want to be able to run for a certain amount of distance? You have to make this goal oriented because you will not be able to make this tangible if there is no goal attached to it. Now, this one's going to leave you feeling a little bit vulnerable, but this has to strip you of any insecurity that you may have. So again, just using YouTube for example here, it's unnerving to put yourself out online, especially when you are someone that is placing yourself in the space of a student. I'm not coming here to teach you. I'm coming here and sharing what I have learned with you. But I get comments daily of people telling me that I've said things wrong and I do things wrong, and that strips me of my insecurities because my goal of becoming better is higher than the embarrassment of these comments. And yeah, you know, some of the things that they point out are true. I may have had my arms on the table in an etiquette reel, but I'm going to learn from that. And it sucks to be picked apart like that, but I think if you've set yourself an appropriate goal, it's going to strip you of these insecurities. And therefore, last but not least, it will leave you improved after successful completion. So how do we bring this back to old money? Well, you can see most old money families have privately educated their children. And if you have heard anybody and their boarding school experiences, you know that that is like the Olympic Games in itself. Like Olympic Games mixed with Hunger Games. I think I've heard some pretty savage stories in what people have to go through when it comes to boarding school. But the other thing when it comes to boarding school is that a lot of the children that are there, they are on a same playing field in the aspect of they're all coming for the most part from families that have wealth, that have money, they have something, and therefore they can't pull the trump card of like, you know who my dad is or you know who my mom is. And so all of that gets wiped at the door and they are just a everyday student. Everybody is equal there. So because of this tension, it allows them to go through an experience where they learn from it, where they have to build a thick skin and form some type of resiliency. Now, I didn't go to boarding school. I was bullied a little bit in school, but one of the best learning experiences for me when I was younger was my mom sent me off to the Caribbean twice. When I was 9 and then when I was 11, I believe. And I learned so much. Now, no one was picking on me. I didn't gain any experience from being on the same page as everybody. However, I did learn to see how great I had it in Canada as opposed to some of the conditions that I had seen in the West Indies. Not trying to make the West Indies sound like a poverty situation in the slightest, but obviously there's going to be a difference, and especially at that time, there's just going to be a difference in what you see in lower income families than you would see in Canada. Now again, you can often see old money women putting themselves through certain tasks where they truly don't have to be there. Look at how Princess Diana, I mean, this was a bit of a stunt, but I'm gonna put it out there. But look at how Princess Diana went and walked through that field where there was potentially live bombs still in this field. Crazy. Now, she didn't have to go on all of these trips, especially after her and Prince Charles split. There were many things that she went to attend to, if it was either with HIV patients, etc., that she didn't need to go and do. And again, I think that builds a person's tenacity, and it was confirmed in this book. Now, in the next video, we are going to be talking about how we can make decisions like an old money woman. I would love if you subscribed and you just click that notification bell so you can see that video as soon as it goes live. Let me know in the comments some of the ways that you've noticed that old money families put themselves through tasks that shape them to be a better human overall. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.